Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be talking about holiday palettes. Kind of why people feel the need to get them. Do you need them? People, why people lose their minds over them, all that good stuff. I do have a few here to share, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Nothing too crazy. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. And yeah, let's just jump right into the video. I have a few Halloween palettes, or ones that I, bought during Halloween time. Let's start off with Halloween and fall, and then we'll work towards Christmas. We'll start off, first off, this is the first year that I have not bought a Too Faced holiday collection. It's a little bit sad. I just didn't think that I needed the cinnamon roll palette in the tin. Those ones are generally good. If you're going to get a Too Faced palette, get one of the tin ones. They generally tend to be better quality. But I didn't feel like I needed that palette. And this is the first year in 4 years that they have not done a pumpkin spice palette. They did this one last year. Mine's broken, so my lid is not like permanently attached. Charlie, my cat is over here. You're gonna have to move, buddy. I know, he's been very like needy and like in my face today. They did this one last year, and this was available everywhere, Sephora, Ulta. I got mine on HSN because the 2 years prior, they did HSN exclusives, and I don't know where the first palette is. I reorganized palettes and put them on this cart thing, and I feel like the first one, it's in pink packaging that they did. That one's my favorite. I feel like it's on the cart somewhere, and I can't find it. It came with the palette, and it was the same size as this. It was pink. It came with the palette, a lip gloss, and a mascara. I think it was a full-size mascara, actually, the Better Than Sex. And it was like $55. It was an HSN exclusive. They did that 2 years in a row, and then they did this one. So it's kind of sad that they didn't come out with another pumpkin spice. This is what the inside looks like. The first one's my favorite. This one's just, like, the quality of these I thought was pretty good. The color story on this one is just fine. It's mostly oranges and browns, which, I mean, this is pumpkin spice latte. So, I mean, the color story is good. The first palette that they did is one of my, like, favorites. It's a neutral palette. It wasn't anything revolutionary. And then the one last year, my cat is back. He may end up being in the frame. The inside looks like this. It's pretty. I feel like I got a bad one. A couple of the shades in mine are very, very dry. Like the cranberry matte in mine is very dry, and some people really like this palette. I just think mine's okay, so I think maybe, and like I said, my lid broke, so I'm wondering if maybe I just got a bad batch. But Charlie, can you move, buddy? But mine works fine. But that was one of those things where I got the first one, and then the second year I had to get this one, even though I wasn't crazy about the color story. Excuse me. And then, when the one in the tin came out, it became a thing where every, year I did the pumpkin spice review. And then this year I was like, do I need the cinnamon roll palette? Because it's not really pumpkin spice. And I looked in the inside and I was like, I don't really need that, as pretty as it was. So I didn't get it. And then I wasn't crazy about their other holiday palettes. Anyway, I bought this one purely because that became a thing. And then the same reason why I got this. Like, I probably would have got this one anyway because I like pumpkin spice and I do like their tin palettes. But did I need these? No, I did not. But I bought them because they were pumpkin themed. So that became a thing. So I guess I saved myself money this year. Because they didn't launch one. And then I do still have gingerbread spice. This was the first gingerbread one that they did. They did the extra spicy. I never bought that palette. The color story didn't seem that different from the, everything is dusty. This is still one of my favorite palettes. I use this one every year. Mine kind of smells like a cookie, maybe. This never smelled super gingerbread-y to me. It does smell good, but this one's still one of my favorite. People complained about this shade. I never had any problems with it. It is a little bit chunky, but I think I got this because they launched it and it sold out, and then they did a second round. I think I got this during the second round. I don't remember. I might have got this during the first round. I want to say that Mike bought this for me for Christmas. And I feel bad that I can't remember. I want to say that he did. But this is still one of my favorite Too Faced palettes, and I still bring it out. I use this one all year because it's a neutral palette with some pops of purple, but I do like using it during Christmas. I like, you know, doing the pinky shades, like a frosted pink, and I've always gotten compliments every time I've used this, and mine still performs well. I did get, I have a couple other holiday minis. I have this one and then the hot buttered rum from 2 years ago. This is from 3 years ago. This is the sugar cookie. This was the one that was from, because they had one that was at Ulta and one that was at Sephora. I think this was the Ulta one. This one, I don't know if you can see, that one shade in there is starting to get like weird. I might have to scrape that off. This is, like I said, 3 years old. These little ones work good. And then, yeah, 2 years ago, I got hot buttered rum. It kind of smells like coconut to me, not necessarily rum, but I didn't get any of the ones last year because the salted caramel one looked very similar to this. And that was one of those things where I always felt like I needed to get, you know, the Too Faced launches. But like I said, if you're going to get one, if they come out with a tin packaged, get the tin packaged ones, because those ones are definitely better. We'll come back to Too Faced in a minute because I do have another winter palette from, I think it was last year. Yes, it was. And it came with a blush that I believe I still own. Maybe, if I can find it. Those are highlighters. I'm pretty sure, yep, it did. The set came with the blush. I do still have it. And I guess I still have pieces from the one the year before. So I can, I guess, talk about, I totally forgot about, my contours. Oh, there's the top part. Okay. I forgot about that palette. Okay, so Halloween last year, everybody lost their minds about the ColourPop Hocus Pocus. And I think it was one of those things where I hadn't really seen a Halloween palette, at least other than, I think Kylie Cosmetics has done Halloween palettes, but this was one of like the first Halloween launches in a while where people lost their minds. I was able to get the palette the first round, but that was a pain. They did bring it back this year, so people can still get it. It's available, I believe, still if you wanted it. I like this palette. I like the grungy color story. It's not anything revolutionary. Some people were upset about the color story and there being so many neutrals, and the packaging's cute, but people lost their minds. ColourPop was not prepared when they launched. The site crashed. They had to relaunch again the second day. They didn't have enough inventory. The palette sold out really fast. People were mad. It was a whole thing. And then shortly after this launched, Black Moon Cosmetics launched a new palette. And I don't know that this is necessarily a Halloween palette, but it's, you know, called the Urban Myth palette, so it's got spooky vibes, and they haven't launched many palettes. I have their all matte one, their full moon. This is what their palettes looked like before. They have an all matte and an all shimmer. This is the all matte palette. So when this one launched, I was really excited for it because this one has mattes and shimmers. And I bought this one immediately when it launched at like noon. This one didn't sell out like the ColourPop one did. I don't know if there wasn't as much demand or if they were just more prepared and had more inventory. I don't know. This wasn't like one of those things where you couldn't get your hands on it, and it's still available. I like it. I like that I have some shimmers from them. I generally use this with the full moon palette. I like if I have multiple palettes from the same brand using them together because I feel like there's less of a issue of formulas not mixing, and it's probably a little bit of an OCD thing, but I picked up this. And then the other Halloween palette I got last year was I pre-ordered the It's Freakin' Bats palette from Shroud Cosmetics. And again, this isn't necessarily a Halloween palette per se, like the Hocus Pocus, but it is bat themed, and they launched in October. And this was another one where you like pre-ordered, and this sold out like within 5 minutes. People were hot on this, and I was able to get one of the first ones. I did have to wait for it because this is a one-woman company. She, you know, makes, presses, assembles like everything herself. So it did take some time to get it, but it's very, very pretty. People were like finally getting palettes like a year later. Like it was they have done multiple pre-orders, and you can still get this. This is one of those palettes where she's going to continue to restock as long as there's a demand. Really, really good quality. I do have one other one from Shroud, and I guess this was one that she had done like the previous October. This is the Arcana palette, so this is her version of like a witchy palette. But if you were interested in the Hocus Pocus one from ColourPop and you want a more intense color story, I would get this one from Shroud. Like, it's beautiful. Very, very pigmented, intense. The shimmers are nice. It's just a more intense formula. So if you want a witchy palette, this is a good option. And I did do a video, I think, where I compared that to this one because there's some similar colors going on. I did end up picking up the one this year. They learned their lesson. They had enough inventory. Like when this launched, it didn't sell out. You can still pick this up. They did bring this one back in stock. Like I said, people were mad. I've never seen people get so angry and frustrated during launch. And I don't normally buy stuff during launch. I will wait or not get it, because this was a painful palette to get a hold of. I didn't have an issue. Like, I bought this like a week later after it launched because I was not like, I haven't used it. Never used it. I got my older daughter one. She's used hers. It's cute. I like that I have both. I don't think I'll ever declutter these, but I can get rid of that. Here's what it looks like. Like, it's not a bad color story, but I like the grunginess of this one better. I ended up deciding to get it, and then like I said, I got Chloe one too. She really likes it. She mainly uses the top row, the neutrals, and this like brown on the bottom. She doesn't do a lot of colorful eyeshadow yet. She's gonna be 15, but like, it's fine. But they did not run out of inventory. I don't know if people were as excited about this one. I don't know if it had to do with the color story or if people were burned out after the fiasco with this. It could have been a combination, but it didn't sell out. You could still get it. They had enough inventory. Like I said, I don't know how many units they sold of this compared to the other one. because like I said, people were mad. So I don't know, people were over it. Like I said, it's very different color stories, so people may just not have liked this one as well. It's cute. It's a Halloween palette. I mean, I bought these for the packaging primarily, not necessarily because of the color story, because again with this one I really wanted to try their shimmer formula because all I had are the mattes, and I didn't necessarily, these palettes are expensive from Black Moon. They're like $45. I got this one on Poshmark, so I didn't pay that for this. It was like somebody had used it like one time. They're all shimmer palettes, something I may pick up, but I primarily got this for the packaging again, and then I wanted to try their shimmer formula also. It's nice. I like their stuff. I wouldn't mind getting their shimmer palette at some point, but it's got Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. What else is going on here? I don't know. These are all, I bought them for the packaging. Let's just be real. But I do use, well, I use this one. I didn't use the other one yet. This one will probably sit in this box until next year, just because I can't get my life together. I didn't use this one this year either, just because of the baby and everything. Like, so let's move into Christmas. So last year, Too Faced did, you know, their normal sets, and I bought one of them, and I was disappointed. Because this is the one that I got. This is the Arctic. Is this a fox or a bear? Let's just say this is a fox. It may not be. They had two different ones. This may be the bear. I don't know. It's a pretty color story. This one was obviously more pinky. The other one was straight neutral. And it came with a blush highlighter combo and a mini mascara. This is one of those things where I felt like I needed to buy a holiday set every year from Too Faced. This is good. I like this. You can see that I have used the blush and the highlighter. This angered me because, and I didn't read the description well enough. There's 3 pressed glitters in here. So this one, and this one are pressed glitters. Now, if you don't like pressed glitters, that takes away, and then it becomes like a 9-pan palette. So you lose a quarter of the palette, which is frustrating. Now, I did try these, and these are actually nice pressed glitters, so then I wasn't as mad, but like, it's fine. The quality of this palette is fine. It's not anything revolutionary, and did I need it? Absolutely not. So I did not buy one of their little sets that looks like this year, because I barely used this one. The year before that, I got sucked in and bought the, I think this is supposed to be a sugar cookie. I have the top and middle pieces. The bottom one was a palette, and that was not a good quality palette. I mean, it was fine. A couple of the shades were okay. It wasn't the best. This palette performs better than that one did, so obviously I decluttered it. The middle part are blushes, and these work really good. I don't have an issue. There's 3 mattes and like a satiny shimmery one. And then this is the Chocolate Soleil bronzer and a highlighter, and both of these, like, you can see the big tip in there. I use this duo a lot. It still smells like chocolate. I just don't like the shape. These are kind of a pain to store. I've been meaning to try and depot these and put them in a Z palette, and I've been afraid to. But I do obviously still have those pieces, and then I still have these, but I'm not buying anymore because the quality is just, you're buying packaging. Like, I bought this because it looked cute on my desk. I kept it in the box until after Christmas and displayed it. Like, that's just silly to spend $45 for display makeup. So yeah, no, I'm not buying the sets anymore. If they had come out with another pumpkin spice, like tinned palette pumpkin spice 2 or extra pumpkin spicy, you know, whatever they want to call it, I will probably buy that just because I've got a collection of pumpkin spice. But I finally moved past feeling the need to buy the holiday set. So these are, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if somebody got me one as a gift. I would use it, but I'm not going to go out and buy it myself. And then we get into Christmas, like eyeshadow palettes. A couple of years ago, Give Me Glow, if you're not familiar, is an indie brand. This is the only palette that I've got from them. Their palettes are a little bit pricey. You do get a lot because those are big pans and you can like pop them out and put them in a Z palette. They came out with this Christmas morning palette a couple of years ago, and this was another one where people like lost their minds over. I was not able to buy it on initial launch. They did a second launch the first time they did this palette in January, and that's when I got it. So I got it after Christmas. But the packaging is adorable. It looks like a present. Their shadows are very, very pigmented. Like their mattes are very pigmented. They're almost like pressed pigments. They can take some time to blend. Their shimmers are very flaky. This green duochrome is very intense, but they're beautiful. Like I said, their palettes are a little bit pricey, so this is the only palette I've ever bought. I mean, you can see how pigmented that is. I got like 3 swatches, but it's pretty, and I still have some left on my finger. Some people don't like their formula because it is difficult, can be difficult to blend. But again, I got sucked into the packaging. I mean, do I need this? It's a red, a neutral, a green, and a gray. Like, there's not anything revolutionary happening as far as the color story, but like there's metallics and the duochrome are very special, like unique, pretty shades. At least this one is. I mean, that's a metallic red. I mean, and green and silver. Gold and silver are not anything revolutionary, but they have a nice formula. I do like their rose palettes. They have 2 of them, but again, their palettes are expensive. So I've never bought anything else from them, but I'm happy with this palette. And then this year, I did get sucked into the packaging. You can judge me a little bit. I bought this primarily because it's cute. And I figured I could use it with this because it's similar color story. And I'll have some blending out shades with this palette. I haven't used this. It's brand new. But, I mean, again, this is a neutral color story. I do like it. I think it fits the theme. But did I need this palette? Not even a little bit. Again, this is a neutral palette with the green and a little bit of a red. I wish there was like a matte red. The only like matte red is like, this isn't even a red. It's like a plummy shade. I wish there was a matte red in here, but other than that, again, like I said, I can use it with this. Their formula is good. Like, I don't mind ColourPop's formula anymore. I had some gripes with ColourPop early on years ago, but I think their formula has gotten, they keep improving, so. But again, I got sucked into the packaging, and even the back. This is all I got from the Rudolph collection because I didn't even need this. And again, this is one of those like novelty, like with the Hocus Pocus palettes, where I will keep it until it hard pans. And potentially use it during Christmas, like I do with the Christmas morning and my gingerbread palette. I try and use this one too, just because I have it. I'm still upset with myself that I bought this, but then the other palette is like holiday launches. I'm sure I have a few because I have, like this was an Urban Decay holiday, like type launch stone vibe. My husband bought me this. This is pretty. This is primarily shimmer palette. So again, these are like, do people need these holiday launches? Not generally, because these tend to be like limited edition things. Have that one. The other one that comes to mind is the Slime Crime one. They did two, these like greatest hits, which I don't have a, I mean, I guess I do have a decent amount of Lime Crime. That's a lie. I bought this on Poshmark, so it was used lightly. Lady hadn't really used it a lot, and I am happy that I bought this. I've used it a few times. Like, the color story is a little bit different. I do like this better. They did this one in a smaller one that looked like this with this packaging, and it had, I think, one shade out of here, and then the other ones were different, but I like the big one better. And these, you know, they took shades from all of their palettes and, you know, their popular shades from all their palettes and put them in, you know, they did this one in the small one. I'm happy I picked this up, but again, you know, these, if you had every Lime Crime palette, these are definitely not something that you would have needed. And yeah, so we tend to get sucked into packaging. I mean, the other one that I can see, I have the Moonspell palette from Lunar Beauty. That was an October launch. Again, I did not buy that during initial launch. I got it like a year later. So it's, I think as adults, it can be like, see how flaky, like there's flakes coming off. So their shimmer formula is very, very flaky. And now there's going to be like shimmer all over. I think as adults, at least for me, it takes me back, you know, to like holiday times, you know, like with advent calendars. And I think that's why like the beauty advent calendars have become so popular. It's something that at least, you know, as adults, we can kind of clamor on to, even though we don't necessarily need any of this stuff. It's something holiday-esque that we can get excited about, that's more for adults than little kids. But then, you know, you're stuck with all this holiday makeup that you don't necessarily need. So it's one of those things where I try and not get sucked into the packaging. It's gotten better as the years have gone on, but I know, like I said, the Hocus Pocus palette, the Urban Myth palette, definitely the Christmas Morning palette, definitely got sucked into the packaging for sure, and was super excited about it. Now that there's so many holiday ones that have come out, it's a little bit easier to take a step back and be like, I don't really need that. As I say that, I ended up, this is just, it was cute. I don't have any other words, so it's hard. So yeah, it's definitely a balance. So let me know down below if you picked up any holiday palettes this year. Have you gotten any of these? Did you get any of these last year? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too boring. Again, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and hopefully I will see you in another video very soon. Bye, everybody.